BTB listeners, thank you so much for checking out today's episode. Listen, if this episode inspires you, do me a favor, take 5 seconds to shoot me a like and subscribe to the podcast. There are several more exciting guests that are in the pipeline, and I just can't thank you enough for your continued support, and let's keep paying the mission forward. What are you built to be? What are you built to become? The time is now. The time is right now. You weren't built to break. You were built to be something greater. Welcome to Season 2 of the BTB Project. I'm your host, Coleman Gearhart. I was an overweight kid, one counted out, lost 100 pounds, found purpose in the pain, and turned my setbacks into a story worth telling. This podcast isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about identity, discipline, and comebacks. Getting up one more time and becoming who we're always meant to be. If you're ready to go deep, do the work, and live out what you're built to be, you're in the right place. Let's lock in, let's rise, and let's get to work. Welcome back to the BTB Project. It's been a little while since I've been able to record an episode, so I'm really excited to share this new BTB short with you. If you have ever felt like life keeps tapping you on the shoulder, sometimes it's soft and sometimes it feels like a sledgehammer. And as life is doing that, and you keep nodding like you're listening to all of the things that are surrounding you and all of the things that you know you should be paying attention to, what if you experience those nudges, but you don't actually change anything? Have you ever experienced that before? Well, over the last month and a half since my last recording, that has very well been me. These nudges to where I knew I was supposed to keep after the episodes. I knew that it was important for me to continue to expand to my audience and help as many people as I can. I wanted to shed light on what I've been experiencing. And the BTB Project, the overall theme of this podcast is I don't do fluff here. I talk about some either personal circumstances or things that I've learned on my journey being a former collegiate athlete and a coach over the last 20 years. It's been something where I've found this platform to be a place where I can give back. And I turn whatever's trying to break me in life, and I turn it into the exact thing that can help be unbreakable. If you're new to this podcast, we're getting 1% better each and every day because impossible is nothing when you stop acting like it is impossible. I've gone about a month and a half, completely disappeared. Not very many posts, no explanations. Part of me wondered, to be frank, if anybody actually noticed. But life didn't care about my content calendar. It showed up with 3 things at once. And one of them finally knocked all the excuses out of me. My son, Caden, is a distance runner. He's currently deep in the NCAA transfer portal. He's a redshirt freshman. trying to find a program that actually will develop him. And I've been in the trenches with him, helping him with midnight emails, helping him with how to communicate with a lot of different coaches that have shown interest, the follow-ups, and it's like my time completely changed. And as I was able to spend time with him and watching him stay locked in on his own why and overcoming injury and getting back to his training this summer, it was fascinating to watch when it got silent throughout these last couple months. It reminded me of what real legacy looks like. It's not just talking about pouring into the next generation. It's actually doing it when it means it messes with your sleep and your plans. When you have all of these different obstacles, these nudges, it's for you to be laser-like focused on the task at hand and the goals that you've set. Have you ever felt like that before? Being able to be completely locked in on what you're doing, even though everything around you tells you that you shouldn't be doing this, that there's no way you're going to be able to accomplish your goal. On top of helping my son over the last couple months, I then ran 2 very large tennis camps that I was really excited about back to back. And this varied with about 56 kids in my first camp, aging from kindergarten to second grade. And then my second camp was a middle school camp, ages 6th to 8th grade. And it was awesome. These camps were about a week period, and I got to feed into these kids. Some were brand new to tennis, some had been playing for a little bit longer, but I got to integrate a lot of the facets that I integrate through the podcast and really put on my coach's hat and impact lives. And when I was out there every day in the heat and helping fix tosses and teaching these kids how to pick each other up when things are tough, or when you make a mistake, how to overcome that adversity. Those kids don't negotiate with the ball. They don't wait until they feel ready. They just swing. They just go for it. And that hit me deeply because I've been protecting myself from the same thing I tell them to do. I protect myself sometimes from failure. I protect myself from putting myself out there because I don't want to make a wrong impression or offend anybody. So during one of my sessions that I was doing, I've had issues in the past with chronic foot pain, and this is also tied to my hand as well. But I had a kid in one of these camps actually step on my foot, and my foot flared up the way that it has in the past. And it was pure camp chaos. And I believe the kid that stepped on my foot didn't purposefully do it, but that sharp, burning neurological pain that I'm all too familiar with over the years. A lot of it has to do with just how I beat my body over the years as a Division I athlete. It was pain that just shot up my leg, and I feel like the pain was literally laughing at me. And I stood there after I got stepped on, and I was trying to coach through it. I felt like it was there. It hadn't completely blown up yet. What's weird with my foot is that it will have these moments where I feel like I have a hitch or something wrong. And then several days later, sometimes weeks later, it finally blows up to where I can barely walk. And I was kind of frustrated when my foot got stepped on, if I have to be honest. And I felt like it was not just the kid who stepped on me. I also feel like it was another nudge of being disappointed in myself that whether I had the stuff going on helping my son or running these camps, that I was getting these nudges that I still wasn't doing my part. Because I've known for years that I've got this plethora of issues, whether it's thoracic scoliosis, being kyphotic with, shoulders that are hunched. And the second I stop paying attention to my posture or my body or taking care of myself, that's where a lot of these flare-ups tend to happen. And I've been doing a lot of things in the background over the last month and a half that have really been a huge breakthrough. A lot of it I'm going to be sharing in future episodes, but really trying to understand the mind body connection and how we as human beings function, because we have so many different moving parts. And having some of the flare-ups that I've had, even though it's challenging and it's a lot of adversity, it's been a learning mechanism for me to help you as a listener. So as I'm dabbling into a lot of different things, right? Dabbling is not a real decision, in my opinion. You can dabble to do things that really aren't going to point you in the right direction. And I want to tackle that today by sharing with you how dabbling over the last month and a half has caused me to really understand the importance of having a laser-like focus and doing the work each and every day. I 100% believe that dabbling can get you flare-ups, that dabbling can keep you small, that can make you feel like you're not very worthy when you're doing things half-hearted. It's something that can cause a a spread of negativity into a lot of these different aspects of your life. And I remember the other night, I was icing my foot right before bed, and I had this conversation that I had been avoiding. How long are you going to keep working around this instead of through it? My wife, my gracious wife, saw me with my foot pain and said, "Hey, at what point are you going to really address this and stop dabbling at it, but really go 100% focusing on your health?" And I'm 42 years young, and I want to still be able to coach these camps that I'm helping with in 10 years. I want the energy to be the dad my kids can actually need when they're going through their own challenges and their own flare ups, right? I want to be the model to something real for you who are listening, not just talk, but turning pain into a purpose while my own body is quietly quitting on me, being able to address it and have that energy become something that's more infectious to everyone tuning in and everyone that's around me in my life. So, the overall conclusion that I want to make sure hits you today is I'm done with dabbling, and I suggest you should be done as well. Every single day now, I'm going to be attacking this. I'm going to be attacking the 10 to 15 minutes of real posture or mobility work to help cater to my nervous system, to help cater to my posture and my body and the corrective exercises that are necessary for me to not have these flare-ups. It's like I'm prying open a door that's been rusted shut for years. And again, I'm kind of being a little bit hard on myself because I feel like I've had a lot of these breakthroughs in my life, but I'm talking about going all in and doing the band pull aparts until my back wakes up, and opening my chest to make sure that I'm addressing my posture. I'm going to get serious about the weight that's making everything else harder. Not just because I want to look a certain way, but because I want to have the capacity to actually show up for people who are counting on me. Some nights I still skip. I get tired. I make excuses. And then the next morning I feel the tightness that creeps back in. The old posture trying to take over that never left. That's what I remember the most, that this isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent enough that the strongest version of me actually shows up when life hits hard. And I want that to be infectious for when life hits you hard. So here's what I want you to hear very clearly. Maybe your flare up doesn't look like a foot. Maybe it's a burnout that keeps coming back every time you push too hard without resisting. Maybe it's a relationship you keep having that you're just, quite frankly, half-assing. You're not putting the commitment, the work into it, and you're not feeding into it what you expect to get out of it. Because maybe you're too busy pouring into other things, other people. Maybe it's this dream you have saying you'll chase it when things calm down. That you have to have this perfect algorithm of scenario for you to actually take action on your goals and dreams. One thing that's very clear is while your own foundation cracks a little bit more each and every year, it doesn't allow you to still have the same platform to help and impact people the way that you want to. So maybe it's the guilt you feel every time you try to take care of yourself, like prioritizing your own strength is selfishness. I got to break something to you. It's not selfishness. It's required. It's so important for you to focus on you, to do extraordinary things in this life. Because you can't keep pouring from an empty, hunched over, flared up vessel and call it legacy. That's not pouring. That's leaking. And eventually you run dry right when people who love you need you the most. So I'm going to ask you, what are you dabbling with right now? Pick one thing, one non-negotiable move you've been avoiding, and go do it today. Ugly, imperfect, even if you do it only half of the way. Maybe it's that opportunity to go to the gym or make a healthy dinner instead of going after the desserts. It's these little things. It's the little things, the little details that change the entire trajectory of our lives. Listen, track what you are doing each and every day. If that helps you see some of your good patterns and your bad patterns, and you'll find that some days you'll win. Some days you'll fail and you'll feel like a fraud, but do it anyways. Because the strongest version of you isn't waiting on the other side of perfect. It's waiting on the other side of consistent. So with this podcast, the BTB project, I'm back. I'm not negotiating the excuses anymore. Whether it's being pulled 1,400 different directions, it's on me to prioritize, to make sure that I keep being accountable to myself. This podcast has been such a huge blessing for me in more ways than you could ever imagine. And a lot of people have to do a double take when I say that. But these episodes are truly ones that put the fuel in the fire for me to have the bandwidth to help others. So I'm not negotiating with being on time every time with these episodes. So if this hits you and the guilt about stepping away or the reoccurring setback that finally got your attention, the decision to stop half-assing your own foundation, do me a favor, drop a review into the notes of the podcast and just tell me what you're dabbling with. And if you're interested in becoming the strongest version of yourself and getting just 1% better every day, subscribe to the BTB project. And if you're new or coming back with me, I appreciate everyone that's tuning in. Share this with somebody who needs to hear that disappearing for a minute when family needs you, or the injury happens, or work gets busy, or school gets hectic, it's okay. But disappearing on yourself forever is not. Tag me. Hold me accountable. I'll do the same for you. We're not just talking about 1% better anymore. We're doing it when it costs something. As always, I'm proud of each and every one of you. Thanks for checking out today's episode. And until next time, take care.